Hey there, Geometry Cats and Kittens. Today we are looking at me highlighting a weird piece of paper. No, today we are looking at 4.1, classifying triangles by side length and by angle measure. Alright, this one should be a review. I'm going to go relatively quickly, but let's learn some stuff along the way. So first thing we got to do is there's 3 or 4 ways to classify triangles by angle. One way is, well, honestly, I always look at the biggest angle. The biggest angle will tell you what kind it is. On this one, on one like this one, my largest angle is less than 90 degrees, right? And if my biggest angle is less than 90 degrees, so my biggest angle is acute, that is an acute triangle. It's just a cute little triangle. But now here, if I look at my biggest angle, it's obtuse. My biggest angle is greater. It's bigger than 90 degrees. So if my biggest angle is greater than 90 degrees, then you'll never guess it. We call it an obtuse triangle. Now, my biggest angle is a right angle, is 90 degrees. That's a right triangle. Now, we do have a special case for, there's a special type of acute triangle where all 3 angles are equal to each other. Not only that, all the angles are going to be equal to 60 degrees because 180 divided by 3, if they're all equal, it's 60. We call that an equiangular triangle because all the sides are equal. Alright? Alright. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. No, I'm just kidding, man. You don't have to. It's okay. You're required to watch this. Alright. Let's try some. Let's classify these triangles by their angles. Alright, first one we're going to look at is CDE. So CDE. So this triangle right here, the blue one, it's kind of sad. Oh, I'm blue. Okay. So I look at CED. There's a little triangle in there, but we're going to ignore it. I look for my biggest angle, and that's right here. So my biggest angle is a right angle. So that would be a right triangle. Okay, okay. Now let's do the next one. Let's look at BCE. BCE. So looking at this one right here. Now for BCE, I look for my biggest angle. It's not B. It's not E. It is C. Angle C is bigger than a right angle. It's bigger than a right angle. What in the world just happened? It unhighlighted. So again, this angle is obtuse. So that's an obtuse triangle. Now let's look at good old honest Abe. So ABE. So we have A, B, E. So we get this triangle right here. Now for ABE, I don't have a biggest angle because they're all equal. They're all 60 degrees. So that makes that an equiangular triangle. Okay. Now let's look at BDE. So we have a B, a D, and an E. Now that one is this triangle right here. I look at my biggest angle and it is greater than 90. It's because it is obtuse. And lastly, you're probably like, this one's going to be a cute because it's the only one we haven't used yet, Mr. Twiller. And you're probably correct, but let's make sure of it. So we have CFE. Looking at this one. And by George, you're right. The biggest angle is less than 90. They aren't all congruent. So that's an acute triangle. Okay. Sorry, y'all, probably a weird hiccup in the video, but we'll make it work. Alright, so now what if we want to classify these triangles by sides, not by angles? Well, this one's a little bit even more straightforward. If I have 3 congruent sides, 1, 2, 3, that's all of them. That's equal lateral sides. Now, if I have 2 equal sides, that's good old isosceles. That's an isosceles triangle. And if there's no congruent sides, that's scalene. Scalene, scalene. There's a Jolene cover song of that by good old Doug McNally. If you see him, ask him about it. If you're 10 years in the future, you have no idea who maybe you know what I'm talking about. I don't know. All right, let's try it. Number 6, classify JKM. So JKM. JKM. That's why I highlight JKM. So the whole thing. Now, if you look at that whole thing, none of the sides are marked congruent. If none of the sides are marked congruent, it means they are not congruent, and that would make it a scalene. Okay. What about KLN? KLN's that pink one in the middle. So for KLN, there's markings on all of them, but that's 1 dash. These are 2 dashes. I have 2 dashes, so that means 2 sides are congruent. That makes it isosceles. And lastly, we have JKN. So JKN, this is the yellow one right here. On that one I've kind of messed up, but you can see in your paper. We have 1, 2, 3 sides marked congruent. All my sides are congruent. They're all equal in length, so that is an equilateral. Okay. One more thing. This is going to be what your homework's like. Now we're going to name these triangles by their angles and their sides. So this first one, I have a right angle is my biggest angle, so it's going to be a right. And then I have 2 equal sides. So because there's 2 equal sides, it's a right isosceles triangle. Not a wrong one. I'm sorry. Number 10, I look at my biggest angle. It's obtuse. None of the sides are marked congruent. They look congruent, but we can't prove it. We don't have numbers. We don't have any markings. We don't have any properties. So it's an obtuse scalene. And lastly, number 11, we have equal angles and equilateral. So it's an equiangular equilateral, which those will always go hand in hand, and we'll talk about that later. The bigger the angle, the bigger the side. All equilateral triangles are equiangular, and all equiangular are equilateral. Well, that's all I got for the day. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.